Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the Academy. This is episode number 3. Today we're going over email psychology. God damn, bro, it is cold as fuck in my room right now. I don't know why I got a shirt off, bro, because it's mad fucking brick in this bitch, bro. I'm not gonna lie. God damn. Turn the heat up or something. Look, bro, email psychology. We love it, we hate it, whatever. This goes hand in hand with just like marketing in general, honestly. Like this is just marketing buyer psychology should really be what this is called instead of like email psychology. So like if you're a marketer, if you're a brand, if you do ESMA, it don't really matter. Either way, the shit in this episode, in this video, is gonna like it's the same in all forms of marketing. You know what I mean? It doesn't just go for email. It goes for every form of marketing, bro. Like you just need to know this information for marketing and understanding psychology. You know what I mean? In general. So, yeah, pretty much email psychology. The objective of this is to inform you guys about the many different phases that go into email, like buying behavior, offer curation. That's a big one. Coming up with good offers, you know what I mean? That's huge, because if your offer sucks, nobody's gonna want to fucking buy from your ass, bro. Effective use of CTAs and all of the mental processes that go into ESMA. So, break out your little notepads. Put the fucking lotion on the shelf, bro. I know you were beating your fucking dicks before you watch this video, but you know, put the lotion up, take the AirPod out, bro. Grab your notepad, grab your pen and paper, and listen up, okay? Cause shit's about to get real. It's time to fucking learn, bro. Jesus Christ, god damn. Alright. How people actually go about buying. Before you start anything related to your ESMA journey or your ESMA agency, you first need to understand why people are actually buying. When people buy, they don't buy logically. I'm sure you already know that. They like to justify their purchases emotionally and rationalize each purchase under 4 main categories. These categories are 1. Pain avoidance. Pain avoidance is kind of like, I'm fixing a problem. I can't keep dealing with this. You probably heard this a lot. You know what I mean? This is costing me time, money, stress. I'm sure a lot of you with girlfriends out there have been saying the same thing. This is costing me a lot of time, a lot of my fucking money, my fucking energy. You know what I mean? Type of mentality. This buyer justifies the purchase as relief. The hidden psychology at work here, though, is things like loss aversion, fear of staying the same, and urgency driven by discomfort. Pretty much just like all the things keeping them stuck. What is the cost of the problem that the person is having, and would buying your product fix that problem? The way that we as ESMA operators attack this sort of pain avoidance mindset is by highlighting the consequences of inaction. If you don't buy this product, bro, you're going to be miserable, gang. You know what I mean? You might want to, if you don't buy the product, you feel me? Like it's our job as ESMA operators to capitalize on highlighting the consequences of not taking action. Okay? We want to emphasize frustration, friction, and inefficiency. And we want to frame the offer that we are giving to the consumer as stopping the bleed or alleviating their worries and pains. The second one is gain justification. This helps me get ahead. This moves me forward. This puts me in a better position type of mentality. The buyer is usually going to rationalize the purchase as progress and more like an investment and not a sunk cost or, you know, them just buying something. It has a certain level of value that they're getting from buying or interacting with the product. The hidden psychology at work here is, oh wait, you might not be able to see this here. Let me make my shit smaller. Damn, why didn't y'all say nothing, bro? Goddamn, with my big ass, bro. Move my shit down right up here. Goddamn, why didn't y'all say shit, bro? You see, you're not even paying attention, bro. That is how I know you're not even fucking paying attention. Lock in. God damn, lock in, bro. Fuck, bro. Fuck are y'all boys doing? Jesus. All right, look, gain justification. This helps me get ahead. This moves me forward. This puts me in a better position type of mentality. We're rationalizing the purchase as progress, and the hidden psychology at work here is optimism bias, future pacing, and aspirational identity. The way that we as ESMA operators attack this mindset is by showing the upside to the product, growth, leverage, showing testimonials and stuff, focusing on outcomes and not features. And we want to paint the after state vividly through things like testimonials, life stories, independent research, and we want to show improved quality of life when we're making these types of offers. The third one is risk minimization. This is a safe decision. People smarter than me are choosing this. I'm not gambling or guessing by getting this product. Type of mentality. This buyer isn't really chasing the upside. Instead, they're just trying to reduce the uncertainty. Okay, they want to make the most risk-adverse decision. So the way that we kind of got to structure it is by making this seem like a safe option to purchase this product. So the hidden psychology is risk aversion, social proof dependency, a need for reassurance. The way that we as ESMA operators can attack this mindset is by having more testimonials. Again, like the gain justification, we want testimonials. We want numbers, data, graphs, charts, guarantees, anything that we can use to minimize the risk for the consumer. Others like you are doing this. People like you are doing this. People in your situation are doing this kind of framing. Calm, confident is how you should come across with this type of offer pitching. And then number 4, identity alignment. I know you can't see it. It says identity. Identity alignment. This is what someone like me does. This fits me. This matches how I see myself type of mentality. If you don't know, designer brands use this shit on you guys. Okay? Designer brands, this is the type of marketing that they use is identity alignment. Dior, LV, Balenciaga, they all use this type of marketing. Okay? They want you to envision yourself and envision the celebrities that wear the product this is what someone like me does or buys, and you consume the product, you buy the product because of the identity alignment. I want to be like LeBron, I want to be like Kim K, I'm gonna buy Skims. I want to be like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, I'm gonna buy Chrome Hearts. You know what I mean? I want to be like Drake, I'm gonna wear a Nike sweatsuit. You know what I mean? That sort of stuff. So the hidden psychology at work here is identity signaling, reinforcing the status behind the product, a sense of belonging and self-image as well. Honestly, that's a big one. Sense of belonging and self-image is huge. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. A good example for this would be run clubs. Run clubs are a great example for identity alignment. It's built on culture and community and all this other stuff, and I'm pretty sure you have to pay to be in a run club. So it's like, oh, I'm bettering myself, whatever, and you're aligning your identity with the run club. Anyways, the way that we as ESMA operators attack this mindset is by speaking directly to who they believe they are in our email and SMS copy. We also want to use insider language as it relates to the product or community behind the product, and we want to position the offer as a reflection of taste, standards, or values. It's important. So pretty much the bottom line here is that you aren't trying to necessarily give people a reason to buy. You're trying to give their brain a reason to say yes. Every email that you send should be thinking, what kind of justification am I giving to them? And also, what value can I provide or we as a brand provide? Many beginners make the mistake of trying to appeal to all four of these at once, but that's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to, one, identify the buyer's justification for buying the product, two, match the message, tone, and branding in the email to fit that justification, and three, remove any unnecessary friction that the buyer may have about buying the product or potentially buying the product. See, like with this, like honestly, think about it this way, right? When you are straight, I mean, just, I'm talking, let's get real here, right? When you're straight, just cracking, right? Cracking buns, right? Just straight, you're in that, right? And, you know, you get a little carried away and you, unfortunately, let that shit go, so to speak, right? I bet yo ass would have no friction buying that motherfucking Plan B. I'ma just say it how it is. You would have no friction buying that shit. Supply and demand. We as ESMA operators can also do the supply and demand. You get what I'm trying to say here? You get what I'm trying to say here? You know what I mean? Plan B is essential. It has a purpose. It kind of markets itself a little bit, you know, and we're identifying the buyer's justification because after you crack and you make that mistake, the Plan B's like, yo, I got you, cuz. Word up. Know what I mean? So like, if you were doing like a supplement brand and you know, it's a multivitamin, you could be like, damn, this multivitamin, you are missing out on life without the multivitamin because this multivitamin is different from the other multivitamins because this multivitamin has beetroot in it, which is going to help make your Johnson stronger. Anyways, yeah, that's just like an example pretty much of the bottom line here. And just the friction about buying. You know what I mean? When there is a need for the product, it kind of removes some of the friction itself is what you'll find. But if not, then you will have to remove the friction through data and stuff like that. That's pretty much the bottom line. Anyways, now let's talk about subject lines, okay? So think of subject lines in an email like how you would view a thumbnail on YouTube. That's a perfect example. Both of these exist to do one job only, which is to earn the click or the open. The subject line is not here to deliver value, and you don't need to explain too much in your subject lines on the emails you send out. The role is just to simply spark curiosity and gain the viewer's attention through whatever offer and let the copy, design, and everything else educate them on the rest and provide the value. Good subject lines look like this. We almost didn't release this. Last chance sale ends tonight. You're running out of time. We fucked up. This one, we fucked up. Being unprofessional like that actually works. Because some people think that the company messed up by sending that subject line. It's like, we fucked up, and people are like, oh my god, Nike's cussing at me? You know what I mean? And they click. And then they'll actually buy the shit. Like, what? They'll actually buy the shit because of the subject line, because it pulls them in, because it's unprofessional. But that's the secret psychology that gets the person to buy. Nigga, I'm so cold. I'm cold. I'm cold. I'm cold. I'm cold. Anyways, bad subject lines look like this. Get 40% off sweet new fall deals. Nobody gives a fuck, bro. Like, I'm gonna be for real. Companies that still send that shit out is... Y'all suck, bro. Y'all genuinely suck. Get 40% off sweet new fall deals. Who gives a fuck, bro? Genuinely. Genuinely, who cares? When have you looked at an email with that subject line and been like, damn, 40% off new fall deals? I think I might buy. No. Weekly newsletter number 18. Like, that's ass, bro. Back in stock, shop now. Oh, thanks, man. Hey, I'm definitely going to shop now. Because you told me. Wow, thanks. Instead, with this specific one, you want to do something like your faves restock. That's way better. That's way better than just like restock, shop now. It's like your favorites are back. Here you go. And then the viewer will be like, damn, my faves are back. Let me look. And then they look and then they're like, oh, my faves actually are back. Let me shop now. And then they buy. That's way better than this boring, bland one-liner. Any sort of boring, bland one-liner type shit, bro. That shit, man, this shit sucks, bro. Having like, you're explaining too much in this shit. Get 40% off sweet new fall deals. You're giving the game away, bro. Let your design, let your copy speak that. Let your subject line pull them in, pretty much, okay? That's what you need to understand. Do not overdo the wording or copy of your subject line, though. Don't just lie to the subscriber, okay? This is horrible business practice if you do, and you are ruining your trust with the viewer if you just straight up lie to them. And your unsubscribe rates will go up. They will go up. It's guaranteed. If you just lie and you're just like, I don't know, I can't give an example, but if you go too overboard with the subject line, or clickbait in this, like, you know what I mean? If you do too much with it, your unsubscribe rates will go up. So as long as you keep everything somewhat, like, true and accurate, you should have no problems getting people to actually interact with your emails. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about CTAs, or call to actions. Once you have the viewer willing to interact with your email, it's important that we have directions on where they need to go to actually buy the product. CTAs, or call to actions, help us do that seamlessly, and in email, we have multiple CTAs throughout the email. The main psychology behind the CTA is that people click under 3 conditions. The first condition is when the reward feels close. The second condition is when the cost feels low, and actually, there's a difference between actual cost and real cost. Actual cost for a product is the sticker price, $49.99, $25.99. But the real cost is what the consumer of the product would be paying, whether mentally, physically, emotionally, quality of life-ly, right? With not having the product. So, like, for example, me buying a lawnmower, right? Like, oh, wait, no. I have a better example. Condoms, right? The actual cost of one is like, what? $150 for one? That's the actual sticker cost. But the real cost of that shit, bro, is saving me 18 years of consistent payments, gang. It's saving me a lifetime of misery and debt. Okay? So that is the real cost of the condo, right? The actual cost is like $150, but the real cost is that this shit is saving me from not having that goddamn kid, gang. That's what that's saving me from. Or like a lawnmower. We can go with another example. Maybe a lawnmower costs me like $500 to buy a lawnmower. That's the actual price. Maybe that seems expensive. But the real cost is that it's helping me cut my grass. And if I have overgrown grass, bruh, that shit looks like ass, gang. You know what I mean? That shit will look like shit if I have overgrown grass. So the real cost is way less than, the real cost is less than the actual cost. Okay? So it makes the purchase worth it. And then number 3, the path feels obvious and safe and not an attempt to steal their information or lead them down a sketchy path. I can't think of an example, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, bro, the viewer should know where they're going. Don't try and, like, use weird wording or, like, I don't know. They should know where they're going, okay? You should not be trying to confuse them or anything like that. That's just not going to work out, and you probably won't end up getting the sale. Moving on. Call to actions. What does a good CTA look like? See what this does. Fix this in 2 minutes. Unlock the offer. Shop the drop. So like when you're making your buttons on your email, it should say these things: shop the drop, unlock the offer. It's way more engaging with the viewer when you have fun wording like this, because it's like, I'm unlocking something when I click this button. I'm shopping the drop when I click this button. See what this does. All right, I'll see what this does. But let me click. A bad call to action is just like a standard shop now button. Now look, hold on. Hi. Hold on. Okay. I only put shop now as a bad CTA because it's the most commonly used CTA. You can use shop now and your conversion will be fine. Okay? If you use shop now, your conversion will be fine, but you could potentially be missing out on an even better CTA. Do you get what I'm saying? With this one specifically, with shop now. Shop now is the standard run-of-the-mill call to action. So it's kind of a middle ground on whether you use it and it'll be good or not. Because I bet if you looked harder and thought about it harder, you could come up with a better call to action. But it's all reliable. You know, it's the reliable shit. It's the shoddy that that you crushing consistently, where it's like, you know, she not wifey, but like, you know, she's consistent. She, you know, cooks me a meal when we're done. You know what I mean? But it's like, you're not really trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what shop now is. That's what shop now is. You know? A bad call to action is just shop, buy, or pretty much any sort of one word, bland, boring call to action will most likely underperform. It's what you need to know. Offer psychology. And damn, I gotta make my shit even smaller. No problem doing that. Offer psychology. Offers don't sell because of the price. They sell because of 3 main reasons. The first reason is perceived uncertainty. Will this actually work for me? Will it work for me? 2, speed of the outcome. How fast will I get what I want out of the product? That is important. 3, risk reversal. This goes hand in hand with the risk aversion. How, like, can I reverse this shit? Pretty much. What happens if this doesn't work for me? Buyers don't want to feel trapped in something they can't undo or something they can't see actually being of use to them. So it's important to structure our offers favorable to the buyers so that way they see it as risk-free as possible, which will in turn encourage repeat buyers and increase buying behavior. If you're a brand owner, listen up, but as ESMA operators, definitely listen up, because it's like, there's going to be a point where you're going to be talking to a brand and a brand may not want to give a certain offer because they feel like they're giving too much. Brother, from my experience, you're going to have to give a little to get a little. Does that make sense? You're going to have to give some to get some in this world. So if a brand is kind of giving you pushback on running like a 40% off discount, I get it. But at the same time, running these consistent 50%, 40% discount offers and like high discount offers, people are going to see that and end up getting more because they feel like they're getting so much value for their purchase. If you're offering 50% off, people are going to load up their carts with stuff. And then you'll end up making more. And not only will they load up their carts with stuff and buy one time, but they will probably end up coming back because you're giving such good offers and discounts. Like, that's how it works. I've actually fell victim to that shit. I'm not going to lie. With a lot of the clothes that I buy, that is the case. I find that shit like on sale or maybe off a discount. I'll find like a nice, I don't know, hoodie or some shit. I'll buy that shit. And then I'll be like, damn, that shit was cheap. Let me buy another one, you know? And then I stack it. And then I'm like, damn, they usually have, you know, pretty well-priced stuff. And then I'll go back. You know, that's how that works. And yeah, that's the offer psychology at work. And I'm sure many of you know exactly what I'm talking about, too. Like, you guys have probably plenty of examples of this shit, too. So, What are the main offer archetypes? Here are the four main offer archetypes. One is relief offers, gain offers, avoidance offers, and then status offers. With relief offers, this is like the make the pain stop type of mentality. The buyer psychology is usually driven by discomfort. It's very emotionally reactive. It's willing to act quickly to the problem, and they have low patience. With the common pain trigger being things like stress, frustration, inefficiency, confusion, or repeated failure. These types of buyers are left tired of the situation that they're in, and they're typically at their breaking point and need a way out. Two are gain offers. This is like a get more of what you want type of mentality. And the buyer psychology is usually very optimistic, thinking about the future, more curious, but also selective. This section doesn't have any pain triggers because there's no pain. Like, you're instead just showing them what they're gaining by using the product in their everyday life. These types of buyers are more curiosity driven and are wondering what they gain by using the product and how will said product increase their quality of life. Three are avoidance offers. Don't lose this type of mentality. It's powered by loss aversion, which is one of the strongest forces in psychology. Like, loss aversion, or like not taking an L, is the strongest force in psychology. People fear loss 2 to 3 times more than they desire gain. Like, think about that. And honestly, this goes great with athletes. Like, if you've ever listened to a Kobe Bryant interview or an MJ interview, that's the case. They're like, man, I hate winning, or I hate losing more than I love winning. This is true for people. This is true for most people. They hate failure. People hate failure. It's the number one reason why nobody ever goes out and chases their dreams. Because they're afraid to fail. They don't want to fail. They don't want the disappointment. They don't want the people ridiculing them. They are afraid to fail. They are risk averse. So, the buyer psychology is usually very reactive, time sensitive, emotionally charged, and regret averse. They don't want to regret shit. They're buying because they can't afford not to. Okay. And then 4, status offers. Be the type of person who, type of mentality. This is the highest level archetype and the hardest to execute because it's hard to kind of pitch this sort of thing. The buyer psychology is usually identity driven, taste based, status aware, less price sensitive. They buy to express who they are. Trust and familiarity loops. People don't buy from the best brands. They buy from the brands their brain feels safe choosing. Just facts. Okay? It's the reason why, like, familiarity loops and stuff are the reason why people will buy a certain type of, like, water or something like that than another type of water. Or a certain type of this food than another type of that food. An example I can actually give you, and I know it says it right here, but a good example that I can give you about trust and familiarity loops is prediction markets. So for those of you that don't know, I do actually, dabble in prediction markets here and there, Polymarket to be exact. And on Polymarket isn't available as of the time of this recording. Polymarket isn't available in the United States right now. So what do you have to do to use Polymarket? You have to use a VPN, right? That's what you have to do to use it. You have to use a VPN, or you got to sign up for the wait list and wait it out, right? I use a VPN, and I was telling my friend, hey, you got to get on prediction markets. This is about to be, a great thing. I think that the future for this is very strong. You got to try this out. Well, when I was trying to get him on to kind of the Polymarket wave, he didn't like the idea that they had gotten banned in the US in the past and that you had to use a VPN to use the site and service. I was like, no, they're about to IPO, like, they're trustworthy, look at the payouts, all this other stuff. But he was like, they got banned in the past. I have to use a VPN to get on here. I don't feel safe putting my card information on this. And so then his decision was to not use Polymarket and instead use Kalshi, which is another prediction market. The only issue is that Kalshi is not as good as Polymarket is. It's not. Polymarket is the best prediction market out there right now. It has more more predictions that you can predict on than Kalshi does. It has better odds than Kalshi does. Everything's better on Polymarket. But what Kalshi does better than Polymarket is that it has never gotten banned in the US and it's available in the US. You can use it if you are a US citizen. So what Kalshi is capitalizing on is the trust and familiarity loop because you're seeing commercials for Kalshi where you're not seeing commercials for Polymarket. It's available in the US where Polymarket isn't. And so, like my friend, many people see that, look at Polymarket, they're like, you're sketchy. Even though Polymarket does the service better, people are going to Kalshi because they feel way better putting their money into a trusted source. And just like my friend, they opt for Kalshi. So the 3 feelings that come before every purchase that someone evaluates is price, features, and alternatives. Their brain asks 3 subconscious questions. 1, do I recognize you? Familiar. 2, do I know what to expect? Predictable. And 3, will I regret this? The safe option. If the answer to any of these is no, then resistance is going to increase. Now let's get into SMS psychology. SMS hits the social brain, not the marketing brain. Email goes through evaluation, ads go through skepticism. SMS goes through a different channel, which is social instinct. That's why the rules are a little bit different when it comes to SMS. 1, it feels personal. Texts are historically one-to-one, social, and relational. This is why if you've ever heard me say, like, use SMS for the focused direct clicks, it's because when most people get a text message, in fact, all people, because there's a study done that like 97% of people open their text. So all people, when they get a text, are looking at it. Email, it's not like that. It's high for email. It's very high, but it's not as high as SMS. But with SMS, you can't spam it as much because then you would be blowing up their phone. They're going to get pissed and unsubscribe. So by sending them like one SMS or whatever, you're already getting that one-to-one relational sort of relationship with the consumer. And you know that they're seeing your promotion when you send them an SMS. You know that they are directly seeing the offer that you are pitching to them because everybody opens their texts. The brain is conditioned to treat SMS as someone is talking to me, not at me. This is the issue or difference, but issue with email is that with email, it feels like you're getting pitched to. It feels like the brain is kind of talking at you to go and shop, where SMS feels like, oh, this is a direct to my phone. This feels a little more personal. The research also says that humans assign higher emotional weight to messages received via personal communication channels, SMS, DMs, all of that, than broadcast media. The brain processes SMS closer to conversation than promotion. Facts. 2, feels immediate. SMS is associated with urgency, timeliness, and relevance right now. Neurologically, SMS triggers faster dopamine response, shorter decision window, and reduced deliberation. This is why SMS open rates are commonly 90% plus, like I said, within minutes. Short-term bound offers outperform long explanations. Heads-up framing works better than announcement framing. So like heads up, 50% off, whatever. It feels like it's coming from an old friend. Feels like it's coming from someone that they know. Hey, just a heads up. Did you know Nike's actually running a deal? Feels personal. SMS feels like something you should check now, not later. SMS strips away marketing signals and feels human as well. There's no templates, no visuals, no heavy formatting. I mean, you can put visuals, but it costs more to put visuals. Like as you actually like start your ESMA agency, it does actually cost more money to run SMS with pictures. But the issue from what I've seen is that running it with pictures and running it without pictures actually doesn't improve the performance. So just run it with no visuals. This removes defenses. The brain asks, is this a person or a brand? The closer it feels to a person, the lower the resistance. That's why typos can outperform perfect grammar, emojis sparingly, very sparingly, because Klaviyo already gives you a very limited character spend for each SMS, and by using emojis, I forgot how much characters it takes up, but you can only use like 2 emojis max in your SMS. So use emojis sparingly. But that'll increase warmth. And then a founder or team voice crushes a corporate tone all day, every day, in all circumstances. SMS brain versus the email brain. The email brain is more analytical, defensive, skim focus, multi-option evaluation, where the SMS brain is more reactive, emotional, single focus, action oriented. Email convinces, the SMS nudges. Great way to put it. Segmentation psychology. Segments are important. Segmentation is all about targeting the right groups of people with the right message. Think of segmentation as the brand's memory of the relationship. Every click, every open, ignore, or delay is a signal. When you segment correctly, the inbox will say something similar to, "I remember what you cared about last time." That feeling alone increases conversion. Your segmentation should signal what they lean towards and how they make decisions and what's stopping them and what doesn't move the consumer. Another important thing to understand with segmentation is that you don't need 50 different segments. All you need is maybe 5 to 10 smart ones that have proven ROI. It's definitely a quality over quantity thing here. And once you target the right people with the right messaging, you should notice higher open rates, higher click-through rate, that's what CTR is, higher click-through rate, a raise in conversion, and lower unsubscribes. So, here is the action plan, guys. Here's what you're going to do. Okay, now that we're at the end of the slides and the end of the video, here's pretty much what you're going to do. Now that you have all the tools and understanding of email psychology, coupled with the other things discussed in the academy, the previous videos, it's now your turn to start understanding email and SMS psychology. I highly encourage you to research further by using the resources down in the description box below to continue to sharpen your tools. And I also encourage you to start recognizing and journaling the patterns talked about in this video. Yes, guys, down in the description box below, there is a Discord. It is here. Let me supersize real quick. Down below in the description, there's a Discord. Join it. It is free for you to join. There are resources in that Discord that are going to help you on your ESMA journey. These resources are, again, 100% free for you to download and use how you want to use them for free. Now that we get that out the way, go to the description, join the Discord. It's going to have like-minded people just like you inside of there. It's going to have resources for you and your agency, whatever, to use and grow and get better and keep learning and keep grinding with. And that's it. So, that's your action plan. Research further by joining the Discord, using the resources, and overall sharpening the tools. Because email psychology is a very important pillar into understanding what offers resonate with your consumers and how you can market towards them. Because if you don't know how to market towards them, you won't be able to sell shit, gang. And if you're not selling shit, then you're not making yourself or the brand that you're working for money. Damn. Anyways, that's it for this video, episode 3 of the Academy. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. You can move on to episode 4 now. And with that being said, I am gone. Peace.